I have a flight in 8 hours. I have not packed, so it is time to get into some fantasy football drafts. We are going to be getting into the puppy. This dropped literally yesterday, and you sickos have done 38,000 drafts. This tournament was released yesterday, and I know it's the best tournament on Underdog, or at least I know it's the most popular. I get that. I know every single person and their mom wants to get into a puppy draft every single second of the day. But for y'all to have drafted 38,000 teams in the span of like a day is insane. Real Royalty Sky hitting us with I just drafted the best puppy 2 team ever. Wait until you see this live stream, my friend, because your boy just pulled pick 10. Pick 10 may not be pick 11. May not be pick 12. We may have to draft next to freaking Kale as we always do. But we may be able to get something nice and spicy at this selection. And yes, I'm talking about Dylan Sampson at pick 15. I'll be targeting him. But I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Laceless Shoes also in this draft with us at pick 8. Definitely saw you in here, my guy. Like I said, we got Kale in at 12. Fellow fella says, did you already re-download Clash Royale? Come on, my guy. You think I could stay off Clash? You think I wasn't on Clash Royale all freaking day today? God, why do you think we're doing this live stream so late? Jamar Chase off the board at 1. Damn, we're sniped. I really wanted Jamar Chase at 10. I thought we were going to get him, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. John says Underdog should keep rolling out the puppies, man. Realistically, Underdog cancels every single tournament next offseason. And they go, we are just going to drop the puppy tournament every single day. Anytime the puppy's filled, we're going to drop a new one. How many of these things do you think they could fill? Like, just in case you know what the puppy is, $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $100K to first. How that works is there are going to be 12 teams drafted in your 12-team league. Top 2 scoring teams advance to week 15. Week 15, you have to play against 9 other people. If you're the highest scoring team, you advance to week 16. We have to play against 9 other people. If you're the highest scoring team, you go to week 17 where you have to play against 374 other people. Highest scoring team, you win 100K. So Puka Nakua goes, Nico Collins goes. I am going to flag plant here. I am willing to go out on a limb. The historical data tells us it's not the worst idea in the world. So I'm going to be taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over Nico Collins. Let's run with it. And Malik Neighbors off in 11. But yeah, realistically, if they just had puppy tournaments every single day year round, a puppy tournament as $1 million guaranteed prize pool, right? They could realistically $50 million in drafts. I bet you they could fill 50 puppies. Kale decides to go Achane, which sucks for us for a specific reason. 1, I wanted Achane at 15. 2, I would have, never mind. I was going to say, I'd be surprised if that team at 14 decided to go with Derrick Henry. But we are going to get Ashton Genty. So let's freaking go, ladies and gentlemen. Ben is in this draft with us at pick 7. Well, you're not doing a damn good job, my friend, letting us get St. Brown and Genty. Looks like we are absolutely crushing. But thank you for everybody coming out with us again. And of course, if you wanted to get into one of these drafts, which we're doing every single night, we always leave the link to Underdog Fantasy in the description, the comment section, the live chat. It's where it says draft with us here. Now, you do have to be in one of these states if you want to draft. Good news for you. Underdog's in pretty much every single state. You can see the map right here on the screen where they're in. They're in all the big ones. And also, if you use code FLOCK on Underdog, you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, you'll get all my 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheets. You can either click the link, scan the QR code, whatever the hell you want to do. But let's go through this. Gamma says, hey, Mason, I was at the gym earlier today and saw you bench 1,200. Yeah, if y'all don't know, my gym recently replaced the pound plates with kilo plates. So 1,200 kilos. I know it doesn't, 1,200 pounds doesn't seem like a lot, but it was kilos. Okay, Football Fun Facts is 10 out of 10 recommend the Superman movie. I was just about to ask y'all this. So I got a movie report for y'all as well. I know it's a little early in the live stream to be going through movie reports, but we watched 28 Days Later last night, the lady and I, or at least we tried to watch 28 Days Later. And we had to watch it on freaking Pluto. I should have just rented it. I should have paid the $3 or whatever it would have been. But I wasn't a big fan. We didn't make it all the way through. Maybe if we made it all the way through, it would have been better. Pluto freaking hit us with 1,000 Haagen-Dazs advertisements. Every 5 minutes, the movie shut off so we could watch some more ads. So maybe it would have been better if we would have watched it ad-free, but we didn't. However, I'm going to Florida in the morning, and I really need to start packing ASAP. But I'm thinking about doing the Superman movie. So if you've seen the Superman movie, let me know what you are thinking. We got one person saying it was the 10 out of 10 would recommend. Another person saying it was mid. If anybody watched F1 and can compare it to F1, better or worse? Okay. Marvin Harrison goes, I wanted Lamar, but I will settle with plan B. Beast mode goes Evan, so I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin. I probably prefer JSN in a vacuum over Terry, but I would like an elite quarterback with this team, and we go Terry McLaurin. I think we're going to be able to get Jaden Daniels on the way back. Steven says he bought my wife's soap today. Yeah, I helped create that soap with her. It was like a really cool idea. We made a lot of money off of it, which hopefully you like it, my friend. Super Sauce 28 Days Later. Excellent. Maybe we should. Kyle says, would rather watch 100 Pluto movies than draft Xavier Worthy. That's your loss. Okay, Kyron Williams goes, so we are going to get Jaden Daniels. It's the reason we took Terry McLaurin in round 3, right? It's so we can set ourselves up Daniels in round 4. Now, generally, I'm underweight Terry and Daniels. I did take him in the $500 draft in the live stream the other day, so if you actually look at like $1 spent with my entry fees, I'm not underweight them, but if you look at percentage of drafts, I haven't taken a lot of them. But, oh dear God. No lie, the lady did just send me a picture of her at Pilates right now and looking muy fiente or fuente. How do you say hot in Spanish? But Mike says, I wasn't the biggest fan of F1 and the Superman movie is more of a childish version if that's your thing. Okay. Superman movie was, the Fuego. That's what I meant. Caliente. Did I combine Fuego and Caliente together? Fuege? No. Jason says, is Devontae Adams your favorite wide receiver 2 on a team for fantasy this year? I'd rather have Higgins. Like, let me pull this up in the player comparison tool. Let's look at them last year. Because the thing is, Devontae Adams is going to turn 33 in December, right? As opposed to T. Higgins stepping into his prime. I understand that Devontae Adams is better quarterback play this season, but he also has more target competition. We go back and look at last year. You have T. Higgins heading you with 18.5 fantasy points per game in comparison to Devontae Adams at 17.2. Is with the fully healthy Jamar Chase as well. Just imagine if anything were to happen to Chase. So I'm in on T. Higgins over Devontae Adams, which based off where they go in drafts, I don't think it's a hot take. Michael says, hope your family wasn't affected by the floods. Much love. We were not. I did talk to one of our neighbors, though. And our neighborhood has like little green ribbons on like most trees and most light poles, like for remembering the floods. I don't know what it's for. You get it. And our neighbor knew, like, most people in our neighborhood have young kids. And our neighbor knew like her daughter is the same age as like the girls that were at the camp. So like her daughter was friends with a lot of them, which I was like, oh my gosh, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Very sad. She told us that yesterday. Okay. Let's see. Mixon off at 58. Travis Hunter goes. We'll take Zay Flowers. We need a receiver. And in general, historical data, not pointing to Ridley being the best to pick. If I get Ridley 63, I'll take him. Don't get me wrong. But Ridley goes 59. I'm assuming Kale probably goes wide receiver here. After only having Brian Thomas, he goes Rome Odunze, and let's see what other direction he goes. Juwan Jennings. Again, I am at this point, hashtag get my guy. I have a well-balanced portfolio. I feel like we've gotten a little bit of everyone. Yes, we're underweight some players. Okay, never mind. I was going to take Trevion Henderson. Henderson goes, we'll take RJ Harvey, and we'll just double dip our toes into the rookie running backs. But from now on, I'm going to be reaching more to get our players, and I'm going to be taking harder stances on some different options. Okay, Kelby says, looking at the last 4 years, looks like Higgins is stuck at 180 points and Avante has. So in general, I think it's not great. We have it on the site where you can go through and you can look at total points in comparison to average. I am just one to always look at per game averages in comparison to just like, oh yeah, Davante Adams. He played more games than T. Higgins, so he's going to have more points. But I'm very here's my honest opinion, and I don't know if this is something that is valuable to y'all at all, and I'm probably just wrong with it. But if you see anybody ever going through and using total numbers for analysis or try to convince you on why you should be drafting a player or not, and maybe this is hypocritical because we have the total numbers on the site, I don't know if you should be listening to that at all. What's more valuable of knowing? Oh, Puka Nacua scored 206 points and was the wide receiver 26 in total points? Or is it more valuable knowing Puka Nacua scored 18.8 points per game and was the wide receiver 3? Do I want to see A.J. Brown as the wide receiver 13 last year or as the wide receiver 20 last year? What helps me more? Probably the per game averages. Okay. Khalil Shakir off 78. Chris Olave goes 77. This is the furthest that I've seen Olave fall. Maybe all off season. Ben says, Mason, I'm team 7. Should we gone with Worthy over McMillan? I understand the thought process having Rice there, but it's up to you. I'm not going to fault anybody for taking Tet there instead. Brian Robinson, Tony Pollard, both off. So we're going to get a receiver. And we don't have massive quarterback needs with us drafting Jaden Daniels. So I think I can actually maybe make an argument for Josh Downs here. Diggs just going to have better quarterback play though. We'll go Stephon Diggs, but I think I could have made an argument for Downs. Nasty Narwhal says, what started your best ball draft craze? So I think I told y'all this, but one, realistically, obviously, I'm addicted to fantasy football. I don't think that surprises anyone. But also at the same time, since my job is all centered around the football season, during the year, I do not have the same time that I did back whenever I was in high school, when I was in college, where I could go through and I could manage 25, 30 dynasty teams a year. I can submit starting lineups for them every single week. I can make waiver wire moves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just simply don't have the time. I'm y'all see me live streaming every single night answering questions. If I go live at 7 a.m. Central until noon kickoff every Sunday morning, it's very difficult for me to have 30 teams like I used to back in the day to go and submit my starting lineup for every single one. So that's not really an option for me anymore, just based off live streaming schedule and stuff during the season. To be completely honest with you, I don't think that appeals to me much more anyway. I'm not sitting here crying oh no, I can't submit 30 dynasty starting lineups every single Sunday the way that I used to. So there's nothing better for me personally than like, I'm going to have a couple dynasty teams that I have somebody help manage with me at this point in terms of starting lineups. I'm going to have the Flock League, which you better believe your boy's handling 100% of that himself. But I want to get more drafts in. Maybe I'm just hooked because we had the year where we won 150K. We've had crazy success on Underdog. Maybe I've tricked myself into thinking I'm good at these when I'm really not. But I want to get more drafts in. And this is really the only way that I can do so because I don't have the time to manage 30 plus teams during the year. Benjamin says there is Najee news on DraftKings about his eye. So I have not been wanting to talk about this. I have been avoiding bringing this up. I will bring it up because I've seen a couple questions about it in the stream at this point. Let's pull it up. Y'all, let me know in the live chat. Y'all have heard about the Najee Harris thing, right? Please let me know in the chat. Have you heard about the Najee Harris thing? And what is your opinion at the same time? I'll pull it up real quick for y'all. I did see some pretty funny memes about it today. Okay. Actually, ESPN tweeted this out. Shefty said something about it. I haven't logged online for the past 4 or 5 hours, and I hadn't seen a legitimate report about this until now. But this looks like something we realistically need to look at. Okay, Bo Nix, nothing here for us. Purdy, nothing here for us. Actually, I don't want Cam Scatterboo. Bad idea. Cam Scatterboo doesn't make sense where we're sitting already with 2 rookie running backs. I don't want our 3 of our first 4 running backs to be rookies, and then we have no way to advance. And then we'll take Drake May. Okay. But now it looks like ESPN's tweeting out that Najee Harris has sustained an eye injury with 4th of July explosions, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I've seen some funny memes about it. People have been talking about this for a while. It's been rumored. This one's a good one. We'll take Drake May and we'll pair him up with Stephon Diggs, and we'll just go with back-to-back year 2 quarterbacks. I wish I could tell you that I knew everything there is to know about this Najee Harris situation. This is the only legitimate report I've seen. Maybe we can see if Shefty has said anything. Top of this. Okay, so let me read the entire story here. Because full transparency, I probably would have gone with Najee Harris there if it wasn't for the eye thing before Drake May. Okay, Los Angeles running back Najee Harris sustained an eye injury after a fireworks mishap at 4th of July event. His agent, Doug Hendrickson, told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Thursday. Hendrickson said the injury was, quote-unquote, superficial and that Harris is expected to be ready for the upcoming NFL season. Hendrickson said the mishap resulted in injuries to several attendees, one person hospitalized after he lost fingers in the incident in California. Harris signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers and made to play a key role in rebuilding the Chargers' rushing offense. If Harris were to miss any time, the Chargers would have to lean heavily on rookie Amari Hampton. And there's nothing else here regarding the injury. That's all we got with the Najee Harris situation. Ross Kretz says he spoke with Najee and he's fine. So the report is that it's not serious and that he's going to be good to go and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, I am almost certain, especially a running back like Najee Harris, who doesn't have any guarantees in his deal, that contracts for these NFL players can be easily voidable if there are sustained injuries doing something like a jet ski accident or a firework blew up in your eye. So realistically, if I was the agent, Would I go to Shefty and would I say, oh yeah, his eye's gone? They're keeping it in a jar in the closet right now just in case that we find a doctor in Columbia that can reattach it. No, they probably wouldn't say that. They'd probably say, oh yeah, he's going to be ready for week 1. But yeah, we got to kind of disclose this right now. The rumors are out there. So maybe I'm dumb to say this, and maybe I'm dumb for 1,000 different reasons. One, won't be taking Zach Charbonnet here at pick 130. That's just perfect value. But maybe I'm dumb to say this. I would probably be putting a slight premium on Amari Hampton at the moment, and maybe a slight discount on Najee Harris. Like as an example here where we took Shaheed and I considered taking Scadaboo for our running back room. On other days, I maybe would have just said, F it. Najee Harris fits RJ Harvey and the Ginty profile perfectly. Let's get some production at the beginning of the season. But there we decided to pass on Najee just to show a little bit of caution. Now, am I going to be dropping him 3 rounds in my rankings? Probably not. But I'd be moving Amari and Hampton up an entire round of my rankings? Probably not. But if you already liked Amari and Hampton here alongside these other wide receivers, hell, go and get them. If you already weren't the biggest fan of Najee Harris at his current price point, man, probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to pass on him. So, again, I've given y'all every little piece of information that I have, my honest thoughts on the situation as well. And now I can say if Najee Harris were to be completely ineffective for whatever reason this year, maybe twist an ankle, whatever it is, which Najee Harris plays all 17 games every single season regardless. The dude could have lost both eyes and he'd be playing all 17 weeks. Amari and Hampton, realistically, with no Najee Harris, I would rather have him over Bucky Irving, Chase Brown. I'd take Amari and Hampton at the end of the second round. So now I'm not doing that right now because I would say like the most likely outcome, like if you were going to give me even odds on any outcome possible, I would bet that Najee Harris is completely fine, that we look back at this 3 months from now and we laugh about it and go like, oh, look back at how stupid we were in July 10th and just trying to find anything to talk about. Like that's the most likely outcome, but it's not the only one. Okay. I'm doing great, Oren. Oh, yeah. Let me pull up a Firework. I don't even know if we can't pull this up. I can probably do it. It's not that cool. I know nobody wants to see your Firework video, especially July 10th. Last thing anybody ever wants to see is a fireworks video on July 10th. But this was my first time ever not going to the city fireworks display and buying my own to do it. Because we had so much rain in Austin that the freaking city canceled our fireworks show. I rented us kayaks. We were supposed to kayak out on the river and watch it from below where they shoot them overhead, which should have been really cool. We will take Isaiah Likely here. I mean, gets the new contract, right? That report came out today. Why is that report not on Underdog? But it's a new contract where I think he's getting paid as much as Mark Andrews now. But anyway, went and bought the own fireworks. I asked them to give us like the small little things that didn't make any noise and didn't shoot up in the sky because of the neighbors. And this thing freaking went. Yeah. It was so funny. We were all huddled around the little firework. That wasn't me screaming. That was my brother. But I don't know if that was any better. But all huddled around, not thinking it was going to do anything. And then it just started going nuts. Okay. And yeah, I almost lost an eyeball. This is a glass eye at this point. Leggett goes. Don't like Palmer. Don't like Dobbs. Don't need a quarterback. We'll go Hunter Henry. We're in on the Patriots offense with Drake May with Stephon Diggs. Might as well double down with Henry. Yes, at least there weren't any cars nearby. That is true. We're like the next one we moved away from the cars a little bit. So Andrew says, is stacking as important in ESPN drafts versus underdogs? So stacking is not as important in your redraft league. Now, stacking is important in your redraft league. Don't get it twisted, because when we're drafting these underdog teams, big thought process, besides even looking into the math of stacking, but a big thought process with stacking, to dumb it down, is we decide to go through and we decide to take, say, Terry McLaurin in the third round. If I take Terry McLaurin in the third round and I want to be the one person in my 12-team league that wins it, because keep in mind, there are going to be 11 losers and one person who wins. If you're going to win, you have to have a pretty damn good team. But if I want to be the one person in my league that wins, Terry McLaurin probably has to be pretty good. And if Terry McLaurin's pretty good, that probably means that Jaden Daniels has to be pretty good. So it makes sense, even in your ESPN league, in your sleeper league, in your Yahoo league, wherever the hell you're drafting, to have stacks. Now, the only instance in which it doesn't, because it just correlates your bets, right? It makes you more likely to win, makes you more likely to lose. The only place it doesn't is if you have a severe punishment for getting last place. Because there, in that instance, say you draft the combination of Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, and then Jaden Daniels gets injured, and then all of a sudden your team's just completely hosed, you could get last place very easily. Because you made one concentrated bet that the Washington offense was better than people were expecting. So stacking is going to correlate your team, which is a good idea in any fantasy football format, because even in a 12-team league, there are 11 losers and there's one winner. You need to differentiate yourself. You need to have a great team. But it's all about getting your team away from the middle of the pack. Stacking is going to make it where you're less likely to be in the middle of the pack and more likely to be either at the bottom or at the top. I didn't stack in the flock league. I had the opportunity to take Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith together. I chickened out. I should have just taken them together. Because I didn't want to get dead last and I don't want to have to deal with the punishment. This year, I don't know if I'm going to be as worried about that, because I clearly demonstrated last year that I'm just operating at a different level, different wavelength. I'm too good, to be honest. Last year I just freaking walked into a bye week. So I'll probably swing for the fences a little bit more to try to take down the league this season. But it's just going to increase your correlation, make it less likely that you finish in the middle and more likely that you either finish at the top or the bottom. Which, in your fantasy football league, getting sixth place does not pay any money. You earn $0 by getting sixth place. So, in a regular league where you don't have a last place punishment, I would either be first or last. I don't hate this. I vote if Mason takes last in the flock league this year, he has to do a 25. I will agree to that. If I get last in the flock league this year, I will do a 24-hour live stream next year. I think we're going to take Darius Slayton here as our 8th receiver. I like our team. It's not the most special team in the world, but I like it. Wide receiver, we have St. Brown, Terry, Flowers, Diggs, Shaheed, Demario Douglas, Darius Slayton. Quarterback, we have Jaden Daniels stacked with Terry McLaurin. We have Drake May. We have an entire Patriots onslaught. We have May, Diggs, Hunter Henry, and Demario Douglas. Tight end, we have Dallas Goedert, Isaiah Likely, and Hunter Henry. And running back, we have Genty, RJ Harvey, Aaron Jones, Zach Charbonnet. We'll take one more running back and one more wide receiver. Yeah. I mean, y'all can clip it. But again, there's no way I get last place. Do y'all see what some of those guys did? Ooh. And one thing that we may do for the Flock League this year is on the sites, we may put like a little section on the left-hand side that's like Flock League specific, where you can go on and every week you can vote on who you think's going to win that week. Like we'll have all the matchups and you can vote and we'll track and like maybe have like a power ranking of like the best predictors. Okay. Gordon says, how much should you be reaching for players that stack? I don't think like if you're, in my opinion, and this is how all the draft guide cheat sheets this year. And all the members of the site just got together. And that's one of the reasons why the live stream's so late tonight. So we had a really long meeting and we talked about an idea of there's going to be something really cool dropping on the site. But anyway, on the site, obviously there'll be our draft guide cheat sheets and I'll have everything tiered out. And what you really need to focus in on is with those positional tiers, like you should never be reaching on tiers to go get a stack. But if it's like, oh, these 5 players are on the same tier for me, they're relatively close. It's like, oh, if you drafted Jaden Daniels already and you're deciding between Terry McLaurin and Garrett Wilson, you probably should just take Terry McLaurin. Justice Hill's the running back that we wanted anyway. So the fact that we get Justice Hill on the way back around is great. I think we get some usable weeks at the beginning of the season from Justice Hill. And that's possibly what we need with Genty and RJ Harvey being our first 2 running back picks. Kylo says, for best ball, do you avoid wide receivers with the same bye week like Harrison and JSN, for example? No, I do not. I do not avoid players with the same bye week in your regular redraft league. I don't avoid them in best ball. The only place I would ever avoid a player with the same bye is if you're in the eliminator tournament on Underdog. That's the one tournament I would. Okay. Michael says, is Sal in the Aussie Cowboys fan in the Flock League? Yes. You're telling me Sal was talking like he won the... What did Sal say about the Flock League? He was acting like he won it last year. The dude was dead last through halfway through the season. That's just disrespectful. We are going to take Jalen Tolbert. And it's 9:50. God, do we get in another draft? I don't think so. I got to pack. We have to wake up very quickly. And I got to pack up all the camera stuff. I got to pack up the computer, microphone, everything like that so we can stream for y'all in Florida. So probably just a one draft 10 tonight. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But I will definitely stream this weekend. So again, sorry we're not streaming right now, but it's for a good reason. And so I can have some time to pack all this stuff up for the trip. But again, now is by far and away the best time and why we need to be streaming to hop on Underdog to get in these drafts because they have the puppy. This is the tournament you should get in if you're new to Underdog. Obviously, don't go hop in the big dog. Get in the puppy. And I'd love to draft with you. And if you want our draft guide cheat sheets and everything for your main ESPN draft this year, you can find the link to Underdog Fantasy, description, comment section, live chat. It's everywhere. But I really appreciate you. And I really hope I get to draft with you at some